myself positioned here. Hi all you beautiful people. Spring doesn't want to come really, or winter wants to stay here. So it's very wintry, and it's a bit challenging when you've been through a long winter, because you're really waiting. I think all of nature is waiting, but the animals, they're much better at just accepting, and it's very clear to see how they just sort of go into themselves, just sort of close down a bit and just wait patiently. They don't get annoyed or stressed like we can do. So I'm practicing just relaxing and trusting that one day spring will be here, and all is well. When you have big animals like we do, you also think about whether there's enough feed. So might have to get some more feed, but it's okay. So what to talk about? Just being human, just being who we are, being on this planet and enjoying this very moment can be challenging in itself, and it's wonderful when we find more clarity. Some days we just don't feel so much clarity, and they say in some of the traditions, it's in the not knowing that we know, to just allow ourselves to not know. And everything I've been explaining about how I see the earth and God and everything, I mean, it's just a way of seeing it, and tomorrow I might feel very differently. So it's good. I think it's very helpful to say, this is what I believe is happening. We're all here for a reason and all these things. But I'm open to see that there's definitely more wisdom, or I can see it in a completely different way. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about healing, sickness, and having physical ailments. And I made a video a while ago called "Why Are We Sick?" or "Why Do We Get Sick?" and "How Do We Heal?" And I removed that because I didn't really like that. So I'll make a new one, and also just change it a bit. And share what I feel today. Just change my angle just a sec. See all the ice on the water there. Beautiful patterns. And all the water and ice there. Pretty wet and cold. So we'll just get ourselves sitting here. So why do we get sick, and how do we get well? Let's just go through this. Most of us in the modern world are experiencing some sort of physical ailments, and as I see it, it has to do with the change that's happening on the earth, because our bodies are changing. So that's one of the reasons. But the big factor, I think, is stress. Our bodies simply weren't built to be stressed as we are today. So learning to relax and to really be in our bodies, I think, is really, really, really important. And it helps the mind also, and the soul. Realizing that we are a soul and a body, and the more we are connected to our soul, the more we are present in our bodies, because our body is the temple of our soul, of God. The more we hear, the better the body will feel. And the body looks like it's this meat and bones, and it is, but it's really mainly energy. Everything is energy. So when we come into presence, we become present in our home, which it really is. We give it energy. We center our energy. When our mind is everywhere and we're just using our body as a tool to get things done, get through life, we haven't got our presence in the body. And of course the energy, there won't be much energy there. So just learning to be present, and that's very challenging for most people today with the lives that we have, that are so busy and so noisy. I know for myself that I've become so sensitive because I live here, but just going to the town, not even a big city, but just going to the town, to the shops, my goodness, I have to recuperate when I go home. So, but we can do it. So all these different exercise forms, all these different tools that we have are so great to help us just be in our bodies. And so now I'm talking about both while we're sick and how we get well. And before I go into the physical things, it's our mind. So apparently they've found out, a man called Bruce Lipton, who you might have heard about, so fascinating, how the medical world has always believed that our genes control our health and control everything, but they don't. It's actually our thoughts that control our genes and our cells. And I was just seeing something yesterday which was so fascinating. A man called Robert Williams, who's made a system called Psych-K. He was a psychiatrist, I think, for many years, and didn't like it and could see that it wasn't helping people because they weren't working with the subconscious. So all the beliefs we have are in this huge storage area of our mind, of our really our energy. Our mind and body are all one. It's all one being, one. Everything is affecting each other. But these beliefs like, I'm not okay, I'm not good enough, or for me, I sense very quickly, I can mention that later, but I'm not strong, I can't do this, all these beliefs, or nobody likes me, all these beliefs that we don't know we have. But when you go deeper and you use these very simple techniques of muscle testing, you can actually tap into these very, very unhealthy beliefs that many of us have. And those beliefs control all our cells. It's just so fascinating. So actually more or less everything that we feel is not working in our body is really controlled by some thoughts. And it can really be any sort of thought that's negative, because our body, of course, our body will be negatively affected. All the cellular work that's going on in our bodies is affected by negativity, because we're born to be these beautiful, harmonious beings. And being told on a deep level, you're no good, you're not going to make this, you're not going to handle this, of course affects all our cells, and they can't work properly. And the way it comes out, it will. I think the pattern will be from our family. We'll see the weaknesses that our family has in their bodies is often what's brought onto us. But that's also a belief, they say.
that when you believe that something is inherited, you're going to get it because you believe it. It's just so incredible. So, what we believe and how we see ourselves affects all our health. So, working with these different systems of tapping into the negative belief systems and healing them or changing them, which you can do very, very quickly. I can show you how this Psych K, just simply this Psych K system. But it's like the emotion code, the emotional freedom technique, EFT, all these different things, emotion code, they're all more or less the same thing. Go and clean away the negative emotions because they're stressing the body. The body is really a result of the mind and the emotions. But then, of course, our body has needs, and for most of us we're in toxic environments, and of course it all works together, because when we're stressed we don't think about the fact that we're actually living in a very bad place, and when we remove the stress we actually wish to move to a different place often. But anyway, the toxicity around us and in our food of course affects us so much. And then there's our whole gut issue. No, just let me mention the whole thing of fresh air, sunlight, fresh water. We're a little piece of nature, and if you give a cow bad water, you don't let the cow have sunlight on her skin, she will be affected negatively. It's not good for us. We need the light, we need the air, we even need the bird songs. It affects us. Every single cell of me is hearing those bird songs. It affects us deeply. So, and we need some type of food that's really good for us. And because of all these things that have been happening to us throughout history, and all this stress that's more or less brought on from our parents, and the whole stressed way of being human, of course, has been given from our parents through all the generations, and all the antibiotics. I'll be talking more about the gut. Has affected our gut. So many of us have very, very unhealthy guts. And it does matter what we eat. And I've sort of gone a little bit away about, I talked a lot about probiotic foods in the beginning of my videos, and I sort of drifted a bit away from it, but I can see now on my own body, it's so important that we give ourselves probiotic foods. Many of us really need them. So whichever foods you really enjoy, to ferment them first is so powerful, because you're actually pre-digesting your food. So you're taking in a huge load off your digestive tract, and at the same time you're feeding healthy bacteria into your gut. It's just so powerful. So, and the foods, I believe, to really, really listen to what you really feel good about, because our diet needs are changing. We maybe need more fluids. But eat what you really feel good about, whether it's meat or not meat, or vegan or not vegan, whatever. Do what you deeply feel good about. Because the food is very, very important for us. And they say high vibrational food that's alive, often is very good for us, because we're alive. So, I'll just go back to the emotions, and it's really what this is all about: self-love. If we don't love ourselves, don't feel good about ourselves, it affects our health. very, very powerfully. So in a way, all those physical ailments many of us have are really the soul calling us back to love. Love me. Our bodies are saying, love me. Fill your life with love. And so it's huge, but yes, our relationship to ourselves, that's where it really all is. And to, of course, that's connected to our relationship with the world. But how we feel about ourselves and how we treat ourselves is vital for good health. So the one that I found from this Psych-K system, which I was testing myself, it's so wonderful to have this muscle testing, was that I don't deserve to be healthy and joyful. And it actually really, really surprised me, but I could sense it. And that's simply because when you don't ask yourself that question, you don't get the answer. But if I ask myself, do I deserve to be really healthy and really joyful? I gotta know. So, no matter it's taking me a long time to heal, because if I deep down don't deserve it, I don't feel I deserve it, it's not going to happen. How powerful is that? And actually it was a website I found, a very, very beautiful Australian woman who's doing Reiki treatments and who is channeling the angels, Archangel Raphael. I'll read that one day. Beautiful, beautiful advice to us about health. And he said this, that you have to feel that you deserve to be healthy. It's so powerful. So yeah, this was about health, and really we can use this in every area of life. Because when we start to love ourselves, feel good about ourselves, and deeply believe that we deserve good and we deserve a good life, we will have all the money we need, we'll be living in a beautiful place, we'll have wonderful relationships, because it's all connected. So this one was just about health. So I'll finish now and just send you all my love, and the bird too. Isn't it wonderful? In the northern hemisphere, spring is coming, and just feeling the light. Life is good, and I just love how we're students of life, and that every day we can learn something new, and we can start using it. So bless you, my friend. See you.